Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Thanks for joining me here today. Always excited to get into our Cabral HouseCalls that happen each and every Saturday and Sunday. Right now, I am recording. If there's a little bit of an echo, we're still working on that, but I am recording from the new main office, at least for the summer. This will be my primary residence. We'll see what happens this fall with the whole pandemic. But I'm always excited to be able to get into these weekend questions. I really am. They come in from all over the world, and they are people looking to have their wellness, their weight loss, their anti-aging, their mindset, their coaching career-based questions answered. And I'm happy to answer those from the best of my ability. So without further ado, let's dive right into those weekend questions. I'll give you today's podcast number. Today is episode 1618. So if you're following along, you want to read the questions as I go through them, you can just head over to stephencabral.com/1618. All right, first things first, let's get into our first question of the day. And it looks like it's coming in from, is it Pam? Let's just see here. I'm opening up my big document of questions. We left off last week actually with Nellie. So Nellie's up first. Pam, you'll be coming up over the next day or so. We answer about 6 questions per day, and that's about 12 questions for the weekend. So first question's from Nellie. And Nellie writes in this: Dear Dr. Cabral, can you clarify a question about histamines and allergies? When I eat anchovies, I feel some tingling on my lips, but no other symptoms. Is this a possible allergy to this food, or is it a normal reaction from anchovies having higher histamines? I'm trying to understand the difference between an allergy and being sensitive to histamines. From your previous podcasts, I'm pretty sure I don't have histamine symptoms. Overall, I score a 9 on your toxic burden quiz, which I know is because you've changed my life for the best. Thank you. Okay, Nellie, thank you for writing in for the question. And actually, what we're talking about is really two sides, so two different sides of the same coin, though. So if we're talking about an allergy, and you probably heard my previous podcast on food-based allergies. So an allergy is going to be a reaction by your body to a pathogen or something that it considers a foreign substance, something harmful to the body. And what happens is your immune system reacts in immediate sort of way. So there's an IgA component to it, but it uses an IgE reaction as well. Part of that reaction is through an inflammatory cytokine-based process. And yes, some of those reactions from the allergy happen through a histamine-based response, a histamine-based release, a mast cell-based response. So this can happen in the short term, causing the worst reaction, which could be anaphylaxis, like many people that may have a peanut-based allergy. And then it could happen on a slower term over a day or 2 days or even 3 days later. And that's what we test for over at equilibriumnutrition.com for an IgG food sensitivity. That's a delayed response. So the difference is this: an allergy is going to happen right away. And it's going to happen with specific allergy-based reactions on the more dangerous-based side. Now, on the other side of that, we call them a food sensitivity, not an allergy. And it's essentially, a sensitivity is a milder reaction with some other inflammatory-based components to it, but not the anaphylactic-based response. Oftentimes, an IgG allergy can actually be gotten rid of, and we've seen that many, many times as well. So the tingling on your lips could be a potential allergy-based reaction. This is most likely not the case with your food, but oftentimes you can have these reactions to even a pesticide, fungicide, or herbicide sprayed on your food. So many people can't eat conventional strawberries because of all the pesticides, but they might be able to eat organic ones. So Nellie, just keep that in mind, and hopefully that helped to differentiate the differences with your response. All right, Jeannei or Jeannie's up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. Thank you for all your research, knowledge, and support you give. My question is about sugar. I consider myself a clean eater, and I eat a lot of fruits and veggies every day. I hear so much about eliminating sugar from your diet and how it's important. I do not eat the typical sugary foods, but this sugar elimination includes the natural form from fruits and veggies. I normally eat about 5 servings of fruit and 6 servings of veggies a day. Also, on the same note, I often eat protein bars as a snack, and I wonder if it's better to look for the ones low in sugar, but have sugar alcohols, or if it's better to go for the natural sugar ones, probably again from fruit, rather than the ones with sugar alcohols. Thank you for your help. All right, great question, Jeannie. And I think there's a lot of people out there trying to confuse people right now. I don't think it's intentional, but they're certainly confusing a whole lot of people. So here's the deal. People who are on the thinner side, more of the ectomorph, more people that are prone to hypoglycemia, and you can check out my episode 1615 for that, they don't have an issue with weight gain. 3 to 5 servings of fruit a day might be fine for them, especially if it's lower glycemic berries and they're very active. I think most people do well with between, I would say, 1 and 3 servings per day of fruit. I eat about, I would say 2 to 3 servings a day myself. I would say 2 to 3 servings. That's about right for myself. And then on the high days, probably 4. But again, that's what works for my body. And again, fruit is a fuel for the body. Now, the interesting thing is people saying, cut out sugar, cut out sugar. Yes, absolutely. Cut out processed sugar. Fruit is not a processed sugar. And if you look at the research, certain types of fruit can actually be beneficial for the blood sugar, believe it or not. But again, you got to look at that research for sure. So here's the thing. Your body needs carbohydrates. It really does. In a short term, it can get away with not having them, but in the long term, it certainly needs them. So cutting out fruits and vegetables is highly detrimental for the body. If you get bloating, if you get gas, if you get joint pain with eating some carbs, that's not the carbs' fault. That's your microbiome's fault. You need to rebalance your gut microbiome. Anybody that says they do better without any type of carbohydrates has a gut microbiome issue for the most part, and that's affecting inflammation. But you have to rebalance the candida, the bacteria, the H. pylori, or the parasites. That is super, super important, and I've talked about that a number of times. So sugar alcohols, I can't recommend them. I mean, if you're asking me, should you go regular sugar from dates or sugar alcohol, I'm going dates every single time. We have bars that we made specifically to be the cleanest bars on the market. They're even school safe for most schools. You have to check with your school, of course. They've been tested for pesticides, the top allergies, etc. And we use a natural sugar, right? We use dates, we use natural sugars. So you can check those out, equilibriumnutrition.com if you'd like. So, the thing is this, do you have balanced blood sugar? You can test that. Do you have a balanced hemoglobin A1C? Less than 5.7. You can check that. Are you gaining weight? You can check that as well. So all of these things are able to be verified. And I am sorry that I can't pronounce your name. It's G-E-A-N-N-E-I. It might be Jeannei. But anyway, regardless of how I'm pronouncing your name, I do apologize. But you might be perfectly healthy with what you're doing right now. 5 servings of fruit, 6 servings of veggies. Sounds like you're getting a ton of antioxidants per day. And as long as your blood sugar is balanced, you're doing great, right? Because you could have, think about it, you could have 2 servings of fruit or 2.5 servings of fruit twice a day. We do that for a lot of ectomorphs. It's a breakfast, and then it's a mid-afternoon smoothie as well. So you could be totally fine. Don't let people tell you what's right for your bio-individuality. All right, Sandra is up next. Hi, Doc. I've noticed that whenever I exercise, I'm more prone to getting canker sores, ulcers in my mouth, as well as feeling pretty fatigued overall. It seems like I'm depleting myself of something, but I'm not sure what. What would your take be? Thanks, Sandra. Sandra, so great that you brought up this question. I don't think it's ever been brought up. But here's the issue. Again, this is not a diagnosis, no treatments, no cures here on the Cabral Concept. We are providing the underlying root causes that may be causing the issues that then conventional medicine refers to as dis-ease. Okay, here's the deal though. When you exercise, your body actually becomes a little bit more acidic. Now again, I have to put the disclaimer in every time because people are like, oh, there's no such thing as acid and alkaline, this and that. And well, yes, there is. At a basic level, yes, you could say that the body always maintains a balanced blood pH. And I would say I agree. It's usually between a 7.25 and a 7.5. It's never above and it's never below, or you are hospitalized, right? So it's about a 7.356 for pH. And that's pretty much neutral, right? But when you exercise, your body creates a lot more acids. When you feel those muscles burning, you're creating more acids in the body. You're creating other things as well, calcium ions, etc. That's not the only thing, but again, I'm keeping it high level here. So that's not the only reason, though. Your body also then begins to get depleted of glutamine and of zinc and of vitamin C and other things that helps to keep viruses at bay and the immune system balanced. So what I would say is this, is your body sounds like it may be a little depleted, and you even pointed that out. I think you're on the right track. This is what I would do. If you're not already using the Daily Foundational Protocol, level 2 or level 3, I would do that. I would probably add in a zinc, and I would add in vitamin C and vitamin D. That's basically our immunity bundle. And that, with your Daily Foundation Protocol, see how it works for you. It's going to certainly build up some reserves. But again, do what you feel is right for your body. Work with one of our integrative health practitioners. And of course, lab test. I mean, it could not be better for you to do the starter kit lab test over at equilibriumnutrition.com. I mean, it was built for you, for sure. All right, thanks for writing in. Great question. Giovanna is up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral. I'm wondering if you're familiar with chlorine dioxide, also known as the miracle mineral solution. I heard an interview with Dr. Cal Kerr. This as a treatment for many things, one being parasites. Any thoughts? All right, so let's talk about this for 1 second. Okay, so there are many plans and protocols like this one, okay? So let's talk about this for a second. You're essentially putting chlorine in your body. Now, a lot of people might right off the bat say, well, we know that that's bad because chlorine is this essentially oxidative process and it kills our good gut bacteria and all of that. And it's true. It's one of the reasons why I say don't drink tap water, besides the aluminum and other pharmaceuticals and other additives that might be in it that I wrote about in the rain barrel effect. I mean, that was one of the top 10 toxins that I talk about. So here's the thing. Let me name a couple others, all right? So we have, and I'm not saying to do these things, okay? I am not putting my seal of approval on it. But we have things like iodine, chlorine, hydrogen peroxide, and turpentine. These have been talked about throughout the ages, right? For quite a long period of time. Chlorine and some of the other disinfecting agents, probably a little bit more recently, of course. But what they do is they kill bacteria, some viruses, etc., on contact. That's what they do. So the plus side is they can potentially scavenger and kill these things. Now, the negative side is that they kill a lot of other things in the process, such as tissue in the body. That means like cells, etc. So we know that hydrogen peroxide, for example, is very powerful. Some people use hydrogen peroxide intravenously. They use it through an enema. Many different treatments using that. Again, am I recommending it? No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you can look these things up for yourself. Turpentine was used for many, many years. It was actually in the medical manual, right? Then there's chlorine, and then there's other things like that, okay? With iodine probably being the safest. But again, not giving you that as a treatment protocol. So the problem is that they're oxidative. So they actually then create free radical damage in the body. So free radicals or oxidation can be beneficial when touching something. Like think of a disinfecting wipe. Well, chlorine's going to kill things. You put it in a pool, right? And chlorine kills the bacteria in the pool, so you're not swallowing all that bacteria. There's different ways, though. Of course, you can use different pool cleaners. I'm not going to get into that for today. So I just don't think in all my time working with people that I've ever needed to go that route because it could be more dangerous. So I'm not using it. I'm not saying other people can't, but no one I would work with in my practice would do those specific things because, and I can't get too much into it today, but we can use natural things that would then create natural hydrogen peroxide in the body, such as vitamin C. All right. Laura's up next. Hi, Dr. Cabral. First of all, I want to thank you for all you do. I finally have hope I'll be able to heal and one day be disease and pain-free. But today I'm asking a question for a friend who has recently developed tendonitis. I've tried to help her with your podcast and searched for it, but I haven't found any. So I wrote to your team and found out you haven't done a podcast on tendonitis so far. Would you be so kind and tell us more about it and what you do if you had it or someone in your family or friends had it? I really want to help her because doctors are just giving her painkillers, and I'm worried that will only cause more problems. Thank you so much, Laura. Laura, happy to help. So I've talked about tendonitis before, but just in roundabout kind of ways, because I probably named the specific tendonitis. Like I've named plantar fasciitis. Now you could say it's tendonitis or not, but the same mechanism of action. I've talked about carpal tunnel syndrome, again, not tendonitis, but along the same method of action. So let's talk more about tendonitis, right? You asked the question, happy to help. Laura, I hope that you do find your answers. We're happy to help, of course, and I'm happy to help for a friend as well. You're obviously a great friend asking for your friend. So think of tendonitis in one of two ways. The first one is an overuse injury. All right, I've helped so many people with tendonitis that from tennis, from racquetball. I've helped a world champion badminton player from overseas. I've had tendonitis myself in my right shoulder. I've had tendonitis in my elbow. And then I had tendonitis in my Achilles. So those are the three places I've had it before. They're all gone now. In terms of overuse, I had to do two things. One is I had to stop for a specific period of time, putting tension on that tendon by playing that sport, whatever it was. And then afterwards, through the rehab, which was massage, and it was typically, this is it, rebalancing the muscles. So I'm going to start to get deep into this, and I've actually talked about this on a previous podcast. Every muscle has an antagonist. So there's an agonist and there's an antagonist. When a lot of people get carpal tunnel, yes, it's from overuse, but they have their wrists bent. And the extensors on the top of their forearm, like at their computer, are staying tight all day, right? So it's closing off that tunnel where their nerve is. And then the flexors are actually staying open. So what we had to do was we had to massage and lengthen the extensors on the forearm while strengthening them at the same time, because usually a muscle will get tight and it will get weak. And we do that because we don't use it through its full range of motion. So we'll do exercises to stretch those extensors, and then we'll also do exercises to strengthen the extensors. That's just one example. With the shoulder, it's the glenohumeral joint. If there's any personal trainers out there, athletic trainers, etc., exercise physiologists, you know what I'm talking about. It's an unstable joint. And we have too many people with tight chest muscles, pectoral muscles, tight SCM muscles, the sternocleidomastoid in the neck, and they have very weak postural muscles like the teres muscles, the posterior deltoids, the rhomboids, the trapezius muscles. So we strengthen those, and then we help with that tendonitis. So, and then the second part, I told you there's a second part, it's inflammation. So we have to reduce the inflammation systemically in a person's body, and then we have to work on balancing the area where the tendonitis occurred after a short layoff of typically 3 to 6 weeks. So that's how we help athletes. That's how we help everyday people. Thank you for your question. And now I've answered a question on tendonitis. All right, let's get one more question in, and it's from Laura again. Hi, Dr. Cabral, me again. I'm taking B-complex, ester C, zinc, lysine, D3, magnesium, omega-3s because I have fibromyalgia, and I'm really trying to heal. I have no money, currently unable to work for the test of your protocols. I would love to do your detox, but can't afford it, and also you don't ship to Slovenia. I eat healthy plant-based and do celery juice and the other green juice and also lemon water in the morning, but I'm missing something. All my supplements are from, I don't know the company that you're writing from. I'm actually going to take it out just because if they're a negative company, I can't, put that in there because then people use that company and they think that I recommend it. I don't know if they're trustworthy because I have no idea who they are. I looked at the ingredients and it looks good, but I'm no expert, so I'm worried if I'm getting everything that I need. They suggested I could swap out the B-complex, D3, zinc, and the essential vegan multi. I'm going to remove again the website because again, I just don't know them. They're not a functional medicine company that I know. Again, I recommend many other companies besides Equilibrium Nutrition, and I've talked about them all the time on the podcast. We recommend them in our health practice, especially if we don't carry the product. But I don't know that company, so I can't recommend them. Could you please review it? All right, I can't review them, but here's what I'll do. So what you want to look for is a good methylated B complex. You want one that contains methylcobalamin and a form of methylfolate. It might be nature folate. It might be glucosamine-based salts from a 5-MTHF-based folate. That's great. For vitamin D3, there's a lot of great brands out there. That's okay. For your zinc, you want a chelated zinc or you want a zinc picolinate. A zinc gluconate is okay. That will work. And a zinc citrate's not bad as well. I like zinc picolinate, especially when we're talking about blood sugar regulation, etc. But again, a chelated zinc is fantastic. So good. Let's look at omega-3s. Really have to be careful about that one. You need a good omega-3, and it has to be a 2-to-1 ratio from EPAs to DHA based on my clinical-based research. Magnesium, we use what I call the trifecta. It's a lysine, it's a glycinate, and it is a... Why am I drawing a blank right now on our full spectrum magnesium? Probably because I'm trying to think about formulas while talking at the same time. So let's just look it up. I'm going to equilibriumnutrition.com, and I'm going to look up full spectrum magnesium is what it's called. I'll just type in magnesium in the search box, and let's see if this works. Magnesium pulls up, and hopefully it is good. It's the second one, full spectrum magnesium. Yes, we have a magnesium citrate powder as well. That's great for before bed. Okay, yeah, it's magnesium malate, magnesium lysinate, glycinate, and it's magnesium citrate. Fantastic. And that allows you to absorb them in different ways. Okay, so there we go. And so then you can look up the dosages we have. That would be fine. But for fibromyalgia, please do this. Okay, because I've done a show on it. I've actually answered it quite in depth on a house call. I would like you to go to stevencabral.com/podcasts. There's a search box. You can type in fibromyalgia, and you'll be able to see it. I'll do it with you right now. Let's go to stevencabral.com/podcasts. This is how we'll end the show. I want everybody to get their answers. And again, if I haven't answered it before, just like we saw from Lara before, just let me know. I'll answer it. Fibromyalgia, because you want to look for gut permeability. You can take all the nutritional supplements you want, but if you have not fixed stress and you haven't fixed gut permeability, it's going to be difficult to fix the issues around fibromyalgia. Okay, just so I make sure that I do answer this for you, episode 442, 581, 631, 711, 806, 884, 893, 993, 995, 1059, 1198, 1577, 1597, 1598, all topics based on fibromyalgia, everything from EMFs to vitamin C to alpha-lipoic acid, etc. So feel free to check that out right there at stevencabral.com/podcast. I literally just wrote in FIBROMY and all those shows popped up. So hopefully this was helpful. Thank you everybody for tuning in today. I'll be back tomorrow answering more of our community's questions. Hope you're having a great weekend. Take care. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stevencabral.com/resources.